There is this supernatural world that surrounds us, and sometimes it manifests to people like you and me. You'll hear stories about this and so much more right here on Supernatural Confrontations. Very interesting testimony by Ivan. I think you'll find it absolutely fascinating. But first, a word from our trusted sponsor, Noble Gold. We are at war and we are in a recession. Two things the government doesn't want you to know, but it's only a matter of time until cracks start to show. And do you know who will get hit the most? Most likely you and me. That's why you need to protect yourself and your family, because things will only get worse. Fortunately, Noble Gold Investments is here to help you. You've worked too hard to build up your savings and investments to see it all crushed to bits. And the financial fallout from the wars, the trade tariffs, and the sanctions that are bound to happen. Gold and silver from Noble Gold Investments are real possessions in times like these. Knowing that you're outside the system when it all goes wrong is a great feeling. And a surefire way to keep your money safe for your retirement is a precious metals IRA. Noble Gold Investments has been helping people like you and me to keep their money safe for years with these. And this month, they're giving away a beautiful gold eagle bullion coin with every qualifying IRA or $50,000 or higher. Folks, make sure you don't get trampled. I know we've invested in Noble Gold, and gold is on the rise. Even though it went down a little bit, it's going back up. Folks, visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Ivan joins us. He's from Macedonia, and he sort of dabbled into the New Age, into looking at ancient aliens, their perspective regarding the UFO phenomena. I think you'll find this testimony riveting. Here it is. Folks, I'm here with Ivan, who's in Northern California. He comes from Macedonia. I love hearing stories like this, that people come from different parts of the world. We came over here 123 years ago, actually 124 years ago, from Italy. So there you go. But Ivan, you had, and basically said something to do with astral projection.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what happened, please.
Well, first of all, I'm going to start with my journey back in 2015. I was born and raised in an Orthodox tradition. But at some point in 2015, I decided to stop and be like, hey, do I really believe in what I've been raised or not? And then I put that thing aside, and I decided, to examine everything that I've been learned and taught in my life. So I took the position as a skeptic, and I started to examine both sides, what atheist and agnostic believes versus what theists like me and you and polytheists, what they believe. So I took the side. I was like neutral. And at some point I this is interesting, I started reading my Bible and I started watching Ancient Aliens. Mistake number one.
Mistake number one, exactly.
And I'm reading the Bible and I'm watching Ancient Aliens, and I'm like, wait a minute, these people are trying to present like that all sides are right. There's no wrong. Like, it doesn't matter if you're atheist or agnostic, theist or polytheist. They all agree. They're embracing all sides. And I was like, now what is this? And I'm watching until season 6, episode 6. Funny, right? Season 6, episode 6. And the season was about the fallen angel, about the serpent, about Shemyaza, the fallen one. I was like, all right, let's see what they want to offer. And they're defending him. How he was the light bringer. He brought knowledge to the world.
Right, there you go.
Making humanity. And I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. These people are trying to study ancient texts, including the Bible. They love to quote the Bible, but at the same time, they're trying to interpret the people in the Bible, like there's something else, and their message is different from what we're reading. Like, we don't understand, so you guys don't understand what you're reading, so let me explain to you, And that's how I fell into the New Age in 2015. I ended up practicing Kabbalah. I had a mentor. My Kundalini spirit was open. Kundalini, which means the serpent spirit, right? It
Serpent
was
spirit,
open,
sure.
just like you, sir. Just like you, like my third eye was open. And that's how my dreams, supernatural dreams started. So my first dream was not a dream. It was totally an astral projection. I was reading about astral projection, but I was like, you know what? I just don't want to go there until I read and see what these people are sharing, And all of a sudden that happened to me, because astral projection has like, it's like what you need to do in order to leave your body, and start traveling into the spiritual world. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. But one day I went to bed, I woke up, and I was like, I know that I'm dreaming. I know that behind me, it's me laying in a bed, but I don't want to turn around. And I was still in Macedonia. So I left my bedroom. I went to the dining room. I headed toward the kitchen. And in the kitchen, we have like a small door where my mom is keeping all of her stuff for cooking. And something in that door, the door was open in the corner. Something is staring at me. And I can tell that it's hitting, and I'm trying to get close and establish a contact, mistake number 2. And the more I'm getting close to that entity, the more I can feel how he's trying to push me back. And all of a sudden I can feel like my head is on fire. My heart racing is increasing. And I heard like a magnetic pulse hitting me in the chest. And I'm going through the walls, going back to the bed. In my body, I woke up covered in sweat. My heart was racing, and I was like, I'm not going to check what was in the kitchen. I'm just going to go back to sleep. Number 2 was sleep paralysis. I was sleeping, and in the middle of the night, I'm trying to figure out if I'm dreaming or not. And all of a sudden, in the right top corner, there was like a black shadow start increasing, and spreading across the wall. And all of a sudden, I can feel how something is wrapping around my neck.
Wow.
It's wrapping around my neck. And at the moment that when I'm trying to say something, I got you. And I'm like, I can't talk. And I freaked out. I woke up and I was like, what is happening with me, And the third dream that's also scared me was like, I went to bed, I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden I start dreaming, and I can see an evil face staring at me, and like, it's like that entity wants something from me. And I was like, this is not good. If this is what this spirit is bringing with me, why all of a sudden I have upsides down in the one day I feel good and happy, everything goes smooth. The other day, I'm hitting the bottom. I was like, this is not good. And one day I came across a video on YouTube. It's called The Mark of the Beast. I've never heard about the Mark of the Beast. I was reading my Bible between 2015 and 16. And in the summer 2016, I'm watching that video. I'm listening that the Mark of the Beast for the first time, both from a physical and a spiritual perspective. I was like, wait a minute. Like everything that I watched, everything that I read and I watched so far was a lie. I mean, this makes sense. And I was like, now it clicks. And I was in my soul was in mourning for like 7 days. I had a feeling like I want to cry, but I can't. My chest was like I was feeling like a shooting pain piercing into my chest, and I was having a hard time breathing for 7 days. After the 7th day, like I was relieved from everything. And all of a sudden I came across Stephen Banker's video. You know him. I saw one of his book on your shelf in one of your shows. And I came across his video, his testimony about the New Age and how he discovered what is the New Age and the doctrine behind the New Age and the leaders in the New Age. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had the same experience like this guy. Now video number 2, this totally makes sense. And I was like, number 3, I'm turning around, I was like, I'm looking at my library. I was like, I have all of these ancient texts and modern the books. I need to get rid of this stuff, and I need to keep what I need on my journey. And I was like, you know what? Now I'm gonna go back, and everything that I've read and I watched so far, I'm just gonna re-examine, and everything that I think and everything, and I'm gonna judge by the Bible. I'm reading, and that's the way I'm reading and I'm understanding and I'm practicing. I was like, okay, this should not be my library. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Then slowly I get rid of every single thing. You know, books is number one thing that can open portals in your house. You know, objects, number three, and of course, practicing the occult is number three. And that's how I came to Jesus. You know, that's how I came to Jesus Christ. And it took me a while, you know, to understand if there's a God behind the universe that created everything to exist. And it took me a while because, like I said, I had to re-examine in what I believe. When I realized that there is a creation, yeah, then I need to figure out now what is, where is the truth? Where is the message? Where God left his fingerprint? And that's the Bible. That's about, because I compare other texts that I've been reading with the Bible. I was like, the Bible is a book that offers grace as a free gift. You know, the Bible is the only book that writing everything declares the end from the beginning, writing history in advance. And it's funny how everything that it's written in advance is fulfilling to the last letter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And number three, the person that is described in the book, you know, like the book of Psalms and the book of Hebrews says the volume of the book is written for me, right?
Right.
Yes, that's the Son of God, Jesus Christ. He is the only one that defeated death. There's no other book on the entire earth that is talking about that. And I was like, now it makes everything makes sense, you know?
Let me jump in and ask you a couple of questions. When you went into the kitchen and this thing pushed you back, it's very interesting you say that, because I've often wondered the way fallen angels and the way they fight. And I also had a dream like that. I mean, it was a very, very vivid dream. And I was in the millennium. I had my white horse, but I was in this very desolate place. It was blackened. Steam was coming out of the ground, and up out of this fissure in the ground came this sort of golem-like creature. And I looked at it and I said, I know who you are. And instantly I was hit in my solar plexus and pushed back like 20, 30 feet. And I got up and got on my white horse and flew back to Jerusalem and went in front of Jesus and said, he's out. Now that's a dream, but I find it really interesting. Because you experienced that not in your physical body, in your spiritual body, while you're still in the new age, as it were. So it's amazing. And I think the 7 days, correct me if I'm wrong, the 7 days where you're having trouble breathing and you're feeling this like pain, I would say that that was an exorcism, a deliverance by the Lord.
Yes, I believe also the same thing. Yes.
Cassie,
I had a feeling that something is getting out of me.
Yeah. Something was leaving you, and that was the hand of the Lord delivering you from the hand of the enemy. Ivan, thank you so much for coming on the record. What a great testimony. And we really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. There you go, folks. What can I tell you? The supernatural world is real. It manifests to people. If you start digging into it, especially in today's world, if you start exploring it through ancient aliens, through Ouija boards, through psychics, through meditation, Christian yoga, there's lots of doors. Guess what? They'll show up. Things will happen. Thanks so much for watching. I just want to tell you that Crop Circles number 5 is now on our streaming site, streaming.lamarzulli.net, streaming.lamarzulli.net. We will be headed out, Gil and I, Gil Zimmerman, my business partner in the UFO series, and I will be headed to Parts Unknown on Tuesday. So we're going to have to do pre-records of everything for the rest of the week. Don't worry, we will be here. And we will be filming number 6. I'm not going to tell you what number 6 is about. Not yet. Anyway, folks, if you've got a supernatural confrontation, something you want to share, don't email me at my regular email. Please shoot one email to supernatural@lamarzulli.net. Supernatural@lamarzulli.net. Our producer, John Adam Hicks, will get to you. It takes time, but I promise we will get to you. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, folks, the supernatural world is real, and sometimes it manifests to people like you and me.